All right, under new business. First off, a presentation of a new proposed district website for 2019-2020. Ms. King and Ms. Zervos will present information, Ginger and Gina will present information about the proposed new school district website and communication update. So ladies, we're anxious to hear about this. It's going to be exciting.
They could almost be a musical duo.
I know they could. And they even like match.
Probably find you some pom-poms or something.
Do you know?
Yeah, come on.
Thank you for allowing us to come talk with you tonight about upgrading our digital image and our communications solution. Just a brief history. We had one other website prior to this one. Back when I first started in 1999, we had one that was designed in-house using Microsoft Front Page. In 2005, we launched this website using the domain name ralak12.mo.us. It has undergone a few format changes and logo revisions, but has remained virtually the same since its launch in 2005. It has served its purpose, but it's now become somewhat limited. Mrs. Zervos will address some of those challenges in a moment. We launched School Messenger, our mass notification system, in 2011. It is user-friendly, and it continues to add additional features to the product. They add them all the time. In preparation for our upgrade, we have also registered a few new domain names in case we want to streamline that as well. rala.k12.mo.us is a lot to type. It's a lot when you're talking to someone on the phone and you try to give them your email address. So we might streamline that process as well. And we have registered a few domain names in preparation for that. Last year, if you remember, we brought to you a new revised technology plan that was adopted. And as those groups were forming, one group in particular reviewed our current communication tools. It was the Data Administration, Management, and Communications team. And they determined that our current communication avenues needed to be upgraded and streamlined. You're going to hear me say streamline a lot because we don't, that's what we're focusing on that as well. This team also felt that a district mobile app would help with engagement and getting information to our parents, students, and general public. So we want to also look for a district-branded mobile app. That committee further recommended that the upgrade be a top priority for the 18-19 school year. The tech plan with those priority items emphasized were approved in June of last year. The upgrade was then budgeted for and approved in fiscal year 19. We formed a small communications upgrade committee comprised of Dr. Dare, Dr. Fulton, Mrs. Grisham, and Gina, and myself. And we kind of looked at some of the elements that we were looking for. And then the RFP process began. We wrote an RFP, sent it out in January. We just got those bids back and reviewed. And that's what we're here tonight. Several key components that we identified as necessary for our new communication solution are, as you can see here, we wanted a single platform. Right now, we have Typo3 for our website. We go to School Messenger for this, where, everybody's using different things. We wanted to have one single platform to provide a new website and design, mass notification system, a district-branded app. And if you're not sure exactly what that is, I'll give you a few. It will help us incorporate news and information from our website. So it'll have icons on an app that you can get from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. It will have those information from our website can be calendars, menus, and it'll be shortcuts to those things that they can have on their phone. It'll also have, we can have links to the parent portal, to bus routes, as well as we have the ability to push out fundraising and alumni engagement elements as well. So really it's whatever we design, we can have shortcuts and links to those items in a mobile app. We are also looking for a way for secure two-way communications, which allows messaging between district staff to parents and students. We currently don't have an in-house way to do that. Staff have gone out and found multiple different apps to do that. This way we could have bus drivers communicate if their bus is running late. They can have their bus rider group. They can send a message out to those parents. Teachers to students, and it's two-way and it's monitored. Right now, we don't, people have found other ways. We want to bring that in-house. We'd like to have some custom forms built, district forms, with workflow. And this will help us eliminate paper forms, hopefully, and allow multi-level approval process. An intranet, which is a secure login area for our staff where we can post access to forms and documents that we don't want public facing. And we are also looking for a single-click ability to post across multiple platforms. So when school's closed, I post to the web. Sometimes I do a school messenger. Gina will do social media. Someone else does, so we're doing all these different things. It would be great, and what we were looking for was single-click might be generous, but we were looking for an easier way to do that. Mr. Voss?
Good evening, and thank you again for having us. As you know, in 2018, the district partnered with Patron Insight to conduct a community survey and assess our performance and really put an ear to the ground and hear what our community had to say. And we found out there are a lot of things we do really well and a few areas we need to improve upon, communications being one of them. The website was indicated in this survey as the fourth most commonly turned to source of information, only behind Friends and Neighbors, Teachers, and the Phelps County Focus. So armed with that piece of information, we began to take a close look at the website to determine if it was meeting the needs of our parents, students, and community members, and what we could do to improve the content to become a go-to source of information on the district. These questions are timely as the previous communications plan is coming to a close and we look toward the future of district communications. All of the previously determined goals of the communications plan are right in line with the implementation of the new website and our effort to inform the community on our academic, extracurricular, and cultural environments within the district. Our current website has been a great resource in the past, but it would truly be difficult to move forward and expand our communication efforts on the current platform. One of the biggest issues we find our users face is quick, easy access to the most frequently asked questions like, what's for lunch? When's the basketball game? Or how do I register my child for classes? In some cases, as you can see there are multiple layers or multiple menus to navigate through to find the answers to those questions. Additionally, we're finding that the staff members are not all updating their content. In many cases, just because the system isn't user-friendly, the back end is very hard to use. So this creates issues with out-of-date content, old contact information, broken links, and just outdated items in general. So you can also see the calendar there, the calendar function. We'd like to streamline that and integrate district-wide with a one-stop shop for athletics activities as well as other school functions. Another concern with our current system is the abundance of external pages which have been created in Google that we do not house and own in our current site. You can see a few examples there at the bottom of the screen. Pages that are created in Google we do not have ownership of, and there can be issues in transferring that ownership should we have a staff member leave. And editing is also an issue, so only the owner of those pages can edit, which limits the rights and editing controls of the webmaster. Also, on the subject of ownership, while we're working to rebrand our web presence, we'd also like to tighten the reins on our logo or in the beginning stages of looking to copywriting and trademarking. So I'll share more on that with you later. And finally there, in terms of ADA compliance, we have some work to do. Working with a qualified vendor who not only provides the framework for ADA compliant content, but uses a third-party service to continually scan our site and ensure we're in compliance is a great first step. Some features of ADA compliance that would be a part of the new website would include text-to-speech, high contrast themes, enlarged cursors, and closed captioning. So now for the really exciting stuff, what does it look like? Obviously it would not be green and blue, but Ginger and I have been going through hundreds of different design concepts and layouts, and we've come to some really solid decisions regarding quick link, menu options, and graphic placement. So those are just a few ideas of what you might see once we get transitioned. And probably one of the most important features of this transition is the responsive design. So the new site will feature responsive design, meaning it will conform to the screen size you're using, which is something that we've struggled with recently. If you've ever tried to access our current website on your phone, you know that can be a challenge. So there won't be any more pinching and zooming and trying to slide out those menus. The website will automatically conform to the size of your screen on your device. This is something that we're hearing more frequently as our community members, our students, and our parents don't necessarily have computers in their homes anymore. They're doing everything from their phones and their mobile apps. So this should drive more users to our site and hopefully help us with that communications effort. So should you approve this proposal, and if we were to proceed with the suggested vendor, the timeline for the content management system would look something like this. Ideally, the website would be live prior to the start of the 1920 school year, so it would happen pretty quickly. And we would have time to train staff on updating content, directory entries, and things of that nature. And the proposed timeline for the mobile app would potentially turn around a little bit quicker. We may be able to utilize this tool for sending out notifications for online registration during the summer months.
Thank you, Gina. And as you can tell, we are really excited. We have, since 2005, we've had this website, as I mentioned before, so we are both very excited. Dr. Dare sits in with us as well and provides help and assistance with that as we're planning. But we are very excited to move forward. We are going to, Gina and I will start as soon as we, if we have a recommendation tonight that is approved, we will start looking at our current website of what pages we want to move. There's things that we don't want to migrate over, so we're going to dig into that and hopefully have a brand new look at Back to School 2019. We're really excited. So as Gina also mentioned, ADA compliance. To the recommended proposal, we are also recommending that we add the optional accessibility monitoring service that sends us, so it's monitoring on the back end, and automatically every week or whatever time we decide, it will send us notification of items that aren't ADA compliant. There are a few copying and pasting things would allow for some ADA compliance issues, so it's going to alert us of those. It'll also check for misspellings, broken links, things that are so hard for us to find, and usually it's a phone call saying, hey, do you know that this doesn't work? So this is going to help us be more proactive. So we would like to recommend to you all, unless there's other questions that you have, we'd like to recommend to accept the West School Messenger proposal with the optional accessibility monitoring services added. So that would be $21,000 for the first year, so for the configuration, and $18,000 for the years 2 through 5. I'd also like to mention that School Messenger, as I mentioned before, is our current mass notification system, which is approximately $8,000 a year. So we would take, this price includes that School Messenger mass notification part.
And I believe this has already been budgeted, correct? This is already,
Yes.
This is already in the budget, so this would not be any add-on to the budget.
As part of the tech plan, part of
Right.
the communications plan, part of the budget that Ginger presented last year.
Okay. So,
We're a little ahead of schedule, actually. I mean,
any,
it's on tonight's agenda. We weren't,
right,
it's good that it's ahead of schedule.
right. Are there any other questions?
What are the stars next to that?
Sorry, that was for my own notes down at the
Oh.
bottom. So when I was calculating some of the differences, I had little notes, sorry. I took the notes off and I left the asterisk. So, so when we were looking at Gabbert, the second column over, one of the asterisks, they did not include in their bid. This is, West is the low bid. If you look at one of the other bids, it did not include any migration. So when you added those migration costs in, it drove it higher. And then I believe I had some comments about the final column, Blackboard, had the very bottom box, so their accessibility monitoring service, as well as their two-way communications, is not part of their initial bid. So those two costs at the bottom would have been added in to increase their bid as well.
Have you
Sorry
worked
about that,
with
Jean.
them before at all?
Pardon me?
Have you worked with this
With
group?
School Messenger, we have.
I
We've
mean, like
used
with
them-
this West School, okay.
Absolutely,
So this is
Jane. That's our
Okay.
mass notification system, and I will say, in the years that I've done technology, they have one of the best tech
Great.
supports for
Great.
their mass notification system that I've ever worked with, actually.
Okay.
So they are based out of, their tech support's based out of Joplin,
wonderful.
and they have like a 3-minute guarantee, I believe, on the phone, and they answer it. I'm on and off. It's fantastic. Not that I have to call them that often, but they're a great company to work with.
So Ginger, would this provide, and I may be way off here, just tell me, would this provide an opportunity for teachers to share what they did in the classroom that day, whether that be video, audio, or just slides?
Absolutely, and we look at, we're hoping that with training that will come forward, and that is in that two-way communications
Okay.
application. They will be able to, and then kind of like in your, like maybe your Facebook feed, you can look back historically. So our parents will have one place to go back and look at historical messages and things like that as well. But yes, it does provide them the ability to send out more than just text messages.
Does this link up at all? I don't really know how Classroom Dojo works with other things, but I know a lot of our teachers are using that system, especially in the elementaries.
Right, it probably
Is there any
wouldn't replace that
connection
because
there?
that has the behavioral element as well. So it probably wouldn't replace Classroom Dojo, but in the upper levels, it might replace things like Remind.com that we're using in different places, or WhatsApp, or we don't even know what everybody's using. And so we'd like to bring that control back in. And these messages are all, so that it allows for two-way, and it also is all monitored. And so if we needed to go into the system for any reason, it would all be, it's all in a log.
And Ginger, just to clarify, the expectation would be that we communicate through this and not remind.
Absolutely.
Those
Absolutely.
would go away.
Yes.
It would come through.
I am in about 5 different reminds right now. So it would be good if I had one way of doing that. And it's really difficult to communicate with different teams I'm in and different clubs and activities. But like my debate coach might like text me like, "Hey, how do I contact this person?" So that would really
It would
be
all
helpful.
be in one feed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, would
And I didn't realize until I came to the principal's advisory meeting a couple weeks ago that there is an issue with Remind and Android phones, and they're charging
Right.
now, and there's just some strange, I can't believe that they don't get along, but this will take care of that process, that problem as well.
Now, would you have a link to Class Dojo, or would it just still consider
We
be on its
can.
own?
If we decided to put that in the custom app, we could.
So bottom line, we're already paying a third of what this total cost would be.
That's correct.
And it actually reduces to, excuse me, it reduces to 18,000 after the first year.
18 down to 10, basically.
For all of those other modules that we would have access to, not just the mass notification portion.
Well, I think it sounds great.
Sounds like a
Anybody
motion.
have questions? I'd like to make a motion to approve the new website as presented.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, there's been a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same? All right, wonderful. We'll be excited. Very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you for your work on it, ladies.